I'm the person who will be speaking to. Thanks. So do you, Danny?
Thanks everyone, and welcome. And I'm super excited to be here. It's been a while since we host webinars. So yeah, so I'm also in the partner technical manager team. So my name is Danny. I'm also based in Singapore, but I'm covering APJ. So looking forward to interacting with you. Enjoy the sessions. Really appreciate your time for joining us today. Thanks, Craig. Back to you.
Danny. Thanks everyone. And Steph, always goes well to introduce your boss as the fantastic. Nice job. So look, let's jump into it. I'm actually going to turn my video off so we're clear on the screen there. So let's have a little bit of a look at the agenda for today. So what this course is a consolidation of the courseware that's provided online in the Uipath Partner Academy, which is normally accessed through the Uipath Partner Portal. So this would normally take you about 4 to 6 hours to go through, but in this session, we've condensed it down to 2 hours. We've eliminated any redundancy, we've updated the content, and we've modified the quiz questions to only really cover the sort of key data points. So the agenda is as you see on the screen. We'll have some little breaks, and then I'll hand over to Ida to finish the session out. Now, if you have any questions, please put them into the Q&A chat tab, and most likely Joshy or Danny or Stefano will be able to answer the questions for you. Now, of course, this is quite condensed content, so we really need your full attention for the full 2 hours, and we will be making this content available to you afterwards. We'll send them around. So the other key request I would have is to ensure that you have got the link open to input all of your responses during the presentation. So I think Joshy might put a link in the chat for you to click on in case you haven't opened the link that was provided in an email reminder that you would have received. So let's jump into it. I'll start at the top, I guess. What's automation? What's RPA, and why is it becoming the must-have technology of successful organizations? For my first job, let's say around 25 years ago, I had a few interviews, a bit of negotiation on salary, and that was about it. The next step was to the job offer and a handshake. It was nerve-wracking, but it was much simpler than things are today. In fact, I think everything was, it seemed much simpler, and it was much more people-centric. People were at the heart of the business. So nowadays, we've got to do background checks, employee vetting, finance, payroll, onboarding, IT equipment ordering, benefits registration, etc., just to actually get on board. So, once you're signed on board, your first few weeks, if not months, are spent getting across all the systems and applications. And so it's definitely got more complex. I think, work itself has become more complex, not just the onboarding. So, I don't know if you know, but every day about 1.5 billion white-collar workers spend over 10 billion hours on doing repetitive, manual, keyboard-centric work. The growth in applications is only making it worse, with the average Fortune 1000 organizations supporting 1,200 cloud-based applications. So that's a lot of applications and an enormous amount of time spent moving data through and between applications. So that given the case, it's work's become unfortunately less personal and more robotic, if you like. So a few years ago when I came across Uipath, I thought I'd found my calling. This is a company that was going to make work simpler, making people do the things that we were meant to do. So at Uipath, we think it's time to make work again and put people back at the heart of the business where they belong. And it's time to automate, quite simply. We need people doing work fit for thinking people, higher value things, not copy and cutting and pasting, not opening emails and attachments to get the information we need. None of that or any other repetitive manual task. At Uipath, we think we have come up with a way to do that. So at Uipath, we emulate how people work with computers and the applications that run on them. We use our proprietary computer vision to really see the screen, and we use AI and machine learning to think, to make rule-based decisions, learning from what you do today to do it automatically for you in the future. We use RPA to do, to interact with the applications. So our robots truly emulate people, creating an automation layer above the applications. It doesn't change the applications at all. It simply emulates what you do. Literally, if you look at a screen of a bot in action, it just looks like a person using it, but really quickly. So our automation platform enables any organization to become what we call a fully automated enterprise. So what does that look like? Well, many people initially associate automation with the displacement of people or the saving of headcount, or FTE is the acronym. But if I simplified your forecasting and order entry, saving you an hour a day, would your company reduce the number of sales reps or expect higher productivity and better customer engagement? The reality is that while many organizations report productivity increases and lower costs, they more importantly see automation driving things like faster outcomes, for happier customers. For example, in call centers, we see 20% lower average hold time on calls, which obviously equals happier customers and more calls taken by the agents. Much better consistency in process outcomes with better data quality, fewer errors, higher compliance in operations, and ultimately lower risk. More engaged employees. Like a millennial may prefer to earn less money at a rewarding job versus more money at a really boring job. Not to mention that it typically has an ROI in months and not years. It doesn't impede the underlying technology. It is just another user. It can be a gateway to introducing new emerging technologies like AI, machine learning, and natural language processing. So what's the Uipath Enterprise Automation Platform? Well, the Uipath platform allows you to identify and manage opportunities to automate across the entire life cycle of an application within your organization. The 5 pillars you see on this slide articulate at a high level what our capabilities are, and the next slide goes into more detail by showing the individual products that are associated with those pillars. Now you see quite a few products there, and when I started at Uipath a few years ago, we really only had 3 products. There were the bots, there was Studio and Orchestrator, but through investment and development and acquisition, we've now got all of the products that you see listed here on the screen and in those pillars, and together they form the Uipath platform for enterprise automation. We're in fact the only enterprise automation platform provider in the market today. It sets us apart from the myriad of bit players, and automation is a busy market and a rapidly evolving space. As such, there are a lot of new and legacy organizations offering pieces to the journey, but Uipath is the only vendor that brings a holistic platform to market. It's integrated, but also open to work with any of these or hundreds of other vendors that you see on the screen here. And this really resonates with customers. You'll see when you look at the major analysts of Gartner, Forrester, IDC, and Everest, we lead in product, vision, strategy, and execution, which I think is quite a feather in our cap. Now, when you look at some of our customers here, some of them that you see here, they purchase industry-centric solutions, others more departmental solutions like finance and accounting, legal, IT, or HR. Onboarding is a huge use case for automation, for example. Lots of household logos there. And after only about 3.5, 4 years in Australia and New Zealand, these are some of our name customers, if you like, in this region. And I'll walk through some of the other regions as well, given that we have a very broad audience today. Here are some of the big names in Greater China, in Southeast Asia, and in Korea. In fact, what you'll find in this view from Zinnov, looking at where the Fortune 250 were on their hyper intelligent automation journey a year or so ago, you'll see some impressive names there. So, while automation may still be a new conversation for some of your customers, and you may have found this if you've actually brought it up with some of your existing clients, it is still new for some. Rest assured that they'll know about it soon, and you'll obviously want to be there to help them on their journey if they haven't already started. And the journey historically has been a sort of typical land and expand model, where a customer will start with a single departmental use case designed to deliver quick wins that engage their employees and to demonstrate the value to their executives. With the ROI being typically measured in months, it's a really quick way to start. And as use cases expand, the interest expands and adjacent departments jump on board and the movement grows from there. That said, over the last 18 to 24 months, automation has become much more mainstream and less of what you might call an emerging technology. So it's becoming a C-level priority, meaning that starting small and growing big is not always the best way to start a prospect automation journey. So let's talk through how that can be started. As I said before, typically it started as a bottom-up exercise, a project in a department looking for a tactical solution and growing from there. It's increasingly becoming a top-down mandate. And while this doesn't prohibit the earlier land and expand approach, it does bring a broader range of stakeholders along the journey earlier, each with unique needs and perspectives. So the need for an enterprise platform to support them throughout that journey to becoming a fully automated enterprise, regardless how or where they start, becomes really important. So let's start asking some questions here. I hope you've got your response section open. Which of the following is not a typical benefit of automation? And breathe a sigh of relief because we are going to give you the answers. It's A, reduce the number of applications deployed. Checkpoint 2, in a matured automation practice, operating model is built first before forming an RPA and functional COE. True or false? Checkpoint 3, arrange the following in the best practice order of execution. All right, reading through there, I'll let you spend a bit of time looking at those. And the answer is B. Checkpoint 4, automation typically targets markets by. The answer is both A and B. We find that there are so many use cases. Right, so what we're going to do now is have our first break. The timer here will click down, and after about 3 minutes, we'll be back on again. I'll play a video for you. So please have a little break. There, I'm going to be trigger happy on the break button, but I think we're at around about 3 minutes, so I'm going to play a short video now, and we'll get back to it.
end to end. You are about to see a robot performing the following activities. Monitoring a dedicated folder where invoices are saved in PDF format. Reading invoices from that folder one by one. Extracting key information from the invoices. Opening SAP. Filling in invoice details in SAP. Sending email notifications. Please note that the robot will do some activities in the background, such as most of the invoice-related actions, monitoring a folder or checking its email address. Now let's see it working. Right now, it's monitoring a folder where 3 invoices are stored and collecting all the information needed so it can register them one by one. It then asks the tester to introduce the email address where the posting notification will be sent, and also performs basic checks to see if the SAP is open and runs it on its own if not. Logging into SAP using its credentials, it then starts processing the invoices one by one. We can see it filling in data such as vendor code, invoice date, invoice number, invoice amount, invoice description, and GL account, and ends up by filling the payment term. Following that, it registers the remaining 2 invoices in the assigned company code. An email containing the SAP registration number is sent automatically by the robot after successfully registering each invoice. Checking in the background, the robot verifies whether the VAT on the invoice matches the one in our database, and if so, will post it automatically.
Excellent. Now, if you've, I guess looking at a bot in action, it looks kind of, as I said earlier, like watching somebody use a mouse and click and highlight and drag and drop and open applications, and which generally is kind of boring. But if, like me, you found that kind of exciting, you're one of us. You're in the right spot. So let's now walk through the platform and give you a bit of an understanding of how it all works. So obviously it begins with discovering everything to automate. Let's have a bit of a tour of the products that make up our Discover pillar. Right, so the fundamentals of our process discovery suite incorporate the actions of capture, record, and collect in order to efficiently identify and create business justification for processes to automate. Starting with process mining, this analyzes data from your line of business systems and applications like SAP and Salesforce, and uses visualization to give you a thorough understanding of your actual processes. This is seen both as the time between steps, but also at the frequency the path is taken. Lots of drill down and analytics capability. It's really a big data analytic view of your processes with a process-centric user interface on steroids. In the past, it was most often used for auditing, but now it's becoming a critical tool for insights before, during, and after processes or just tasks are automated. It actually cuts audit time by about 50%. So continuous monitoring capabilities allow you to constantly check in on your process to make sure you stay on track with your goals and show that ROI to the business. Now, where there are multiple people doing similar functions, it can be easier to analyze the group using our task mining tool. Task mining looks at what the people are doing. It automatically captures and analyzes tasks performed by users across your company for an approved set of applications without interrupting employees' daily work. And this can save 3 to 4 weeks analyst time, where you might normally manually collect and observe, which obviously also helps deliver a faster time to ROI. Now, here's an illustration of how these two approaches work together. Process mining will provide you with an end-to-end process view based on back-end data resources. Then Uipath Task Mining will enable you to deep dive into a specific step of processes to see the actual activities performed by your employees. If it's looking at one person and what they're doing at their desktop, these are overkill. You know, for the individual, we've got this next product here, which is called Task Capture. Task Capture kickstarts coding by letting users take a selfie, if you like, of their automation ideas. Of course, developers need specifications to see the workflow they need to automate, just as an architect needs a blueprint. So with Task Capture, anyone can easily record their as-is process, action by action. And this means that a Centre of Excellence team can start developing faster. Task Capture comes with our Automation Hub, which I'll go through next, as standard. Manual task analysis takes weeks, but Task Capture cuts out process documentation and process definition document creation, saving at least about 3 to 4 weeks of manual analysis and 60% of the time it usually takes to build documentation. And because Automation Hub includes Task Capture access, it's really simple to keep all of your automation documents in one place. So here's Automation Hub. As I've said earlier, the most important stage of any automation journey is figuring out what to automate, what will deliver ROI. Automation Hub simplifies and centralizes this process. Ideas discovered through process and task mining are lodged here for prioritization and tracking with the Centre of Excellence. It also democratizes the process by empowering anyone to suggest automations. Business users, analysts, developers, literally everyone. And the way it does it is that it asks 9 basic questions to help define what the process is. For example, is it rules-based? Is it complex, etc.? You could even add the content from a task capture session to better illustrate the idea. It uses that data to then rate the suitability and how ready the COE might be based upon the information provided, and gives them a really powerful tool to manage the automation pipeline and report results. It's 100% web-based, RPA platform independent, and one price for unlimited users and role-based. We've actually got one customer that generated 1,000 valid RPA ideas in 1 quarter, which you can do when you democratize it and you push that out to everyone in the organization. So we've got another checkpoint, checkpoint 5. The key difference between task mining and process mining is B. Task mining leverages data from the user, while process mining leverages data from applications. 2.6. How is Automation Hub licensed? The answer is C, both A and B. It's available in both. All right. So how do we create an automation then? Well, as we saw with Automation Hub, ideas to automate come from all over an organization. Typical organizations have 3 key user profiles when it comes to automation. There are business users, those who just use the automations they're given. There are technically curious users, or what we term citizen developers, who may want to try automating a few things themselves. And then finally, there are professional developers. Professional automation developers will carry out the majority of the core enterprise automation development work, but to scale and attack the business process, or what we might call the long tail, you need to empower employees to help build simple bots for themselves as citizen developers. Now, for the hobbyist or citizen developers, we have this product, Studio X. It's for simple task automation with no code. You just drag and drop activities. It has seamless integration with Word, Excel, and Outlook. It gives the ability to control and automate simple everyday tasks without the need to code. Automations can then be shared with professional developers in the COE if assistance is required or more complexity is desired. It's also a really great differentiator that we have, which is that the governance of our automation is tightly held, meaning that the wrong automation, the wrong access to personal systems and etc. can't get out there without the proper governance. Now, for the developer, we have Studio. This is also a simple drag and drop interface in a dashboard format, an inbuilt recorder, and best practice robust debugging tools, advanced integrations, and RPA components, as well as world-class UI automation. That makes this one of the most powerful RPA tools on the market, meaning it has about an 88% faster time to production, according to Gartner peer reviews of Uipath, Blue Prism, and Automation with some of our key components. Over 1,700 Uipath and community pre-built activities to choose from. There are over 450 connectors to the most common applications based on the APIs, with like Google, Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, ServiceNow, etc. The drag and drop interface makes it really easy to reuse components created in-house or downloaded from our community resource library. And it also allows users to leverage AI and machine learning components. And at the end of the day, it's all about ease of use. So in summary, to build automations, we have two products, but we recently simplified the licensing, either citizen developer or automation developer. So how do we manage all of these robots and automations? Well, we do that with this next product I'm going to go through, which is called Orchestrator. Now think of Uipath Orchestrator as the manager that gets the most out of your robot work and keeps an eye on what it's doing. So if Studio writes the music and the robots play the music, well, Orchestrator orchestrates it, of course. Orchestrator offers a single place to manage and optimize work across your attended and unattended robots and control the distribution of your automations. It logs all robot and user actions and can also flag business exceptions built into automations for compliance. It's got comprehensive dashboard-based monitoring, and it can be deployed in one of four ways. You can have on-prem in a private cloud or dedicated infrastructure, in the public cloud, like Azure, AWS, etc., or as a platform as a service with the Uipath Automation Cloud, where the cost is built into the elements, but we'll get into that a bit later in Ida's presentation. So with Automation Cloud, it takes, like a minute, one email address and one browser to sign up for Automation Cloud for an enterprise trial. You can start prototyping your automations and let us worry about the underlying infrastructure. So customers can start prototyping automations immediately and let Uipath worry about that infrastructure. It's quickly becoming the deployment platform of choice. And with Automation Cloud, you can start instantly and scale infinitely. You can invest in the automation, not the infrastructure. Get enterprise-grade availability, security, and compliance as standard. Get SaaS orchestration and immediate access to trial, Studio, and robots to build and run automations. Get access for everybody to an array of additional services that you see here on the screen to support automations and enhance, such as AI Center, Data Service, our no-code app solution, and lots more, all from one place. Really the Uipath portal in the Automation Cloud. Now, in addition to this, if your policy, regulatory, or IT strategy needs you to be self-hosting rather than using SaaS, then we have a new great option for you, Automation Suite. As you see, the experience is very similar to Automation Cloud, but under the covers, Automation Suite is designed for self-hosting on-premises or in a third-party cloud. It has Kubernetes containerization already done for Uipath server products. It reduces the need for Linux and Kubernetes skills. It makes several popular products available for self-hosting for the first time, including Automation Hub and Task Mining, and simplifies integration of others. All the platform services of Automation Cloud, Uipath Portal, multi-tenant Automation Ops, has cloud-native architecture delivered on-prem. All the tools you need to manage the Kubernetes containers and the infrastructure for backup, restore, etc., are installed from the same installer. Update files will update everything, products and tools, for example. The entire infrastructure contained in the package is supported by Uipath end-to-end. So of course, you're never going to get that cross-vendor finger pointing that we all hate. All of this means faster deployment, lower TCO versus installing, managing, and updating individual products. But of course, note that individual product updates will still be available, but Automation Suite is a new, more comprehensive self-host option. Now, Uipath is the only platform that converges testing into one automation platform. Test Suite helps ensure every robot and application is strong and resilient by enabling you to build and deliver automation faster, continuously test to uncover underlying issues, and proactively resolve issues to prevent business disruptions and maintenance fire drills. So you can focus on scaling. Because when automations stop doing their job, no one's happy. Automated business processes are highly dependent on the application runtime environments that they're automating. We actually conducted a survey of over 800 customers to find out why their robots stopped working. And there were three main reasons. Number one, automation issues. These are issues with the workflow itself, recognizing objects, exception handling, etc. Application issues. These are the issues that come about when an application is updated, a new object is added, a toolbar is customized, etc. And environmental issues. These are the issues that come about when a runtime environment is updated, or even something as small as a security patch. Frequent application changes combined with frequent environment changes lead to high maintenance and unhappy business stakeholders. And this is why we built Test Suite. So Uipath Test Suite is a bundle of products that includes Studio Pro for automating RPA and application testing, Test Manager to map requirements, define tests, and evaluate results, and test robots that are run within Orchestrator. It combines the world's leading RPA technology with best-of-breed testing capabilities to sustainably accelerate scaling through proactive testing, cross-enterprise collaboration, and a consistent approach to create and deploy automations. Test Suite benefits those who create automations and those who depend on them. For example, RPA teams, they create more resilient robots to scale automation sustainably with comprehensive RPA testing capabilities. Test teams, they can automate testing of virtually any software application by empowering them with unified best-of-breed testing capabilities. Transformation leaders can rapidly deliver business value while minimizing cost and risks by accelerating automation, leveraging enterprise approach to automation. Right, so it's time for some more questions. Checkpoint 7. Uipath's product offerings for developing automations are Studio and Studio X. Checkpoint 8. Which of these statements is false about Uipath Orchestrator? The answer is D. Okay, let's move on to talk about the stars of the show, what people know us for, our robots. Here in this slide, you can see the 4 key different types of robots that we have, nicely represented on one screen. They've all got their own job to perform, which is what we will go into now. So here's an example of an unattended robot. It recognizes that an email has come in with an invoice attached. Without prompting, it opens the email, downloads the invoice, it extracts the necessary details, enters those details in SAP, and once completed, it sends an email notification to the appropriate employees. There's no human interaction required. You could then go on to do a completely different task, maybe for HR or IT. So robots can only do one thing at a time, but the beauty is, if there's lots to do, it can be scheduled in a preset priority, or more robots can be added. The best part is, each additional robot doesn't need to be trained, it just executes the same flow. I almost feel like leaving that music going, it's quite soothing, but I'll move on. Right, let's talk about attended robots. Now, attended robots are triggered by a person via the Uipath assistant. There's one per person. Effectively, you tell them what to do and they go and do it. We can use forms to enter in specific information for the bot to use if needed. And when you think about it, if you save 20 minutes a day for a worker on, say, $35 an hour, it adds up to over $3,000 a year, which frequently gives an attended robot a really fast ROI. One of our partners is rolling them out to every desktop for one function in SAP that's only done 1 or 2 times a month. But there's 30 screens involved. There's lots of errors, lost employee time, frustration, and an attended robot does it right every time. Once in place, the use cases grow as they see what they can do and leverage Automation Hub to capture those ideas. Right, so I've got a couple of different types of automation cloud robots. There's Automation Cloud Robot VM. It's an unattended robot that supports customer software and configs and will scale as needed in the automation cloud. Takes on almost any unattended workload. There's no requirement for your own Azure or AWS subscription. No IT resources needed to manage Orchestrator or robot infrastructure. Supports additional software installation, domain join, and point to site VPN connection back to your own network. And it's managed from Orchestrator in Automation Cloud. Then we've got Automation Cloud Robot Serverless. And that's a sort of ready when you are pool of robots that immediately run automation cross-platform, API and web created in a Studio, in Studio or Studio Web. There's no VM or robot preparation, of course. Just send jobs to the serverless cloud robot pool in Automation Cloud. It provides the instant test environment for Studio Web. Charged per execution minute via cloud robot units and can run many jobs in parallel. And that's also managed from Orchestrator in Automation Cloud. Now, work's not always a straightforward, contiguous flow. It's more likely that a process moves between multiple people with time lags. Think of a process that may have escalations or require multiple different approvers. And this is where Action Center comes in. Action Center automates long and complex processes that invariably require exceptions, escalations, and approval handling by the business user. Now, humans can step into the process and make the required decisions while robots continue with their work. So robots perform the work they do best, and Action Center keeps humans in the loop to manage exceptions, issue approvals, and process escalations. It doesn't require any new installation as features are provided straight out of the box. All right, so Uipath Apps. This is a low-code, web-based app builder that enables you to design and deploy enterprise-grade applications. Some people are saying that with Uipath Apps, the automation is the app. It delivers a rich and engaging end-user experience that acts like a portal to your automations. in that from a single browser tab, you can interact with a broad range of automations. There are two main components in apps: the App Studio, where you design and build the app, and the app's end user experience. This is what the end users see when they use Uipath Apps. It's powered by RPA, of course. This is most of the low-code solutions connect via APIs to run their applications. In the case of Uipath Apps, you can work with any of your existing applications, even if they don't have the APIs. Apps connects with our automation platform, which in turn can access and work across multiple systems and applications. This means you can build apps that interact with both attended and unattended automations and their affiliated integrations like AI. Contact centers agent consoles are an excellent use case. Robots can present information retrieved from various systems, and the agent can be walked through activities such as address changes, support tickets, and next best actions suggested by AI. Because it's presented as a web page, the apps are thin and they can run on almost any platform. Right, so have you ever tried setting up an internal SharePoint for employees to learn more about your automation program? You know, we know it can be tough to get buy-in, but what if there was another way? Well, the Automation Launchpad is an automation COE lead's ultimate tool to scale and evangelize your company's automation program. Built on Uipath Apps, think of the Launchpad as the homepage for your Centre of Excellence to provide a clear path for users to learn about automation, uncover the company's most popular automations, how much time they save, and the automation heroes, that's right, automation heroes, who brought them to life. You can request licenses from the COE and learn development best practices and key company guidelines for automations. You know, really, you can use it to get connected to Automation Hub to share their automation ideas as well. Super important. You know, it is. We have found occasionally automation stalled because of a lack of knowledge and buy-in from the rest of the business. So Launchpad really helps in that regard. Right. So this is a bit of a case study where Altidomus used data service to store, you know, their extracted data, which was then used to create their spreadsheets. They benefited from the, you know, the key features of data service, like being no code, highly secure, reusable, and scalable. Right, let's get into some more questions. Checkpoint 9. Which of the following statements about Uipath Apps is false?
Craig, can we've had feedback not to rush through the questions, to give everybody some time to read them. So if you could pause a couple of seconds. Thanks.
Sure. No worries. I appreciate the fact that people aren't just being lazy and waiting for the answers. But here is an answer. A. So on to checkpoint 10. Which statements about Uipath robots are true? The answer is all of the above. Right. Let's press on now and look at getting into some of the more advanced elements of automation. And we're going to start off with document understanding, or DU as we call it. So DU allows us to extract data from documents, both structured, like tick boxes or tables, and unstructured, like handwriting. For example, invoices, you know, government forms that might include handwriting. It's AI-enabled OCR, or intelligent OCR, really. DU is highly trainable. So the more it sees, the more it learns, and the better it gets. It can also use multiple different AI engines on the back end, depending on what it's reading, handwriting or tables, etc. How it works is it extracts the data, the user checks it for accuracy and corrects it if it's wrong. The learning ensures continuous improvement. Elements are presented in Studio, then can be dragged and dropped into workflows using the information extracted in tasks. Across quite a few different products there, as you can see. So organizations deploying intelligent document processing on average see a 35% reduction in the cost of manual document processing. According to IDC and Everest, 35,000 hours per year saved per 100 employees who process documents, which is about an hour a day. It's really one of the hottest elements in our platform right now, and most customers are seeing use cases straight away. All right, so let's look at AI Center. AI Center makes it easy to add AI. It breaks down the barriers between RPA and data science teams. It enables RPA developers to seamlessly drag and drop the AI skills best suited to their needs into a workflow. It allows data scientists to easily deploy, monitor, and constantly improve machine learning models. You can bring your own models, choose a pre-built model provided by Uipath or Uipath partners. Once your model is ready, you can deploy it on AI Center with a few clicks, and then they're available to drag and drop them into a workflow within Studio. But when the model makes a prediction, your robot can execute on it. Or if the prediction is low in confidence, you can bring humans in the loop to validate and make corrections. The validated data will be uploaded to AI Center for model retraining. The Uipath have hundreds of integrations with the most common applications that enterprises use. They're pre-built activities that can be dragged and dropped into an automation workflow, accelerating development and ensuring seamless operations. We also have pre-built connectors. They trigger robots to do things natively from within an application, such as closing an order in Salesforce.com could trigger a bot to update a NetSuite application, for example. And here we're showing a few logos of some of the most popular integrations available, and more are coming online every month. If you just have a look down the bottom of the slide there, you'll see what I'm talking about. Right, so the Uipath Marketplace is your one-stop shop for pre-built, high-quality RPA components with the most extensive RPA component library on the web. If you build something you think others would use, whether paid or for free, you can distribute it here. And before building something from scratch, it's often a good idea to check the marketplace to see if someone already has and is making it available for download. You can think of it a bit like the Uipath App Store, in an Apple term, I guess. All right, let's have another few questions. So checkpoint 11. Which of the following statements about Uipath AI Center and document understanding is false? The answer is B. Uipath AI Center only works with skills and modules purchased from Uipath. It's false. Okay. Finally, one of the most important parts of any automation program, providing evidence of the ROI, or as some of our consulting partners refer to it, proving benefit realization. One way we do this is using a tool called Uipath Insights. It's an optional embedded analytics solution that enables you to accurately measure, report, and align RPA operations with business-defined KPIs. Insights is accessible from within Orchestrator, enabling instant visibility into RPA operations. Dashboards are drag and drop, customizable, and come with 5 out-of-the-box dashboards for robots, queues, processes, licensing, and business ROI. Business ROI calculations can be easily defined per process, and reports are easily shared with stakeholders. It includes a custom alerting, anomaly detection, and AI to suggest new widgets and dashboard views. So now you hopefully will have a better understanding of the 5 pillars of the Uipath platform that we started out with a little while ago. And of course, all of the products that it's comprised of. I'd like to thank you all for your time and attention, and we'll take another quick 3-minute break as I hand over to Ida, who will walk you through the rest of the presentation. Thank you.
Hi everyone, Craig and I are going to swap over now, and I will start sharing, and we will get into the second part, or as you can see, this is the agenda, so the remaining part of this. So we'll be covering licensing and pricing, where to start, the partner program, how to engage, and then we'll wrap up. Now, we have a combination of long-term partners, new partners on the call. So I will try to address the licensing and pricing in a way that will cover or hopefully assist everyone. But Q&A, you have any questions, please go right ahead. Okay, so our licensing and pricing. firstly, one of the key points is that all of our licensing is in USD and all of our licensing is annual subscription. Now, we have partners who purchase through Ingram Micro, through distribution. For those partners, you're lucky enough to receive the pricing in your local currency because Ingram Micro can convert it from the USD pricing that we give to them and convert it over to your local currency and add any local taxes, etc. But all the pricing that I'll be showing you today is all in USD and is list. And you can download the prices from our partner portal anytime. Okay, so here's some key licensing points because we've made some changes. Recently, we introduced universal pricing, and because we had multiple plans. We had on-prem licensing, we had cloud licensing, because as you saw earlier, and as we had the automation cloud, automation suite, and on-premises. So what we wanted to do is bring all that pricing into a single framework. So we introduced the Flex plan, and the Flex plan provides a single SKU for cloud and on-prem licensing, single SKU, okay? And under that SKU, our customers have full deployment rights to all of the environments, whether it's on-prem or automation cloud or the automation suite. Now that has left us with two legacy plans, the on-prem legacy plan, which we will continue we will continue the availability for existing customers and existing customers only. No new customers are all on Flex. That's mandatory, but existing customers can continue purchasing them under the on-prem plan. The cloud plan, we've transitioned and we will transition customers from the cloud plan to Flex, and SKUs under cloud are no longer available, which isn't really an issue given that the cloud plan pricing and the Flex plan are pretty much identical. Then we also did something, we introduced AI units recently, and AI units allow consumption across the three products, document understanding, AI Center, and task mining. So those standalone SKUs or servers are gone. If you want to utilize a licensed task mining, AI Center, and DU, it's all AI units. And so all of those other SKUs have been replaced. And we, as you saw in Craig's presentation, recently introduced our fully SaaS robots, our automation cloud robots on 11th of May, and they're being licensed under a new unit called robot units. So more about that shortly. But they're the main changes of recent times. And a little bit more. So just to remind you of the platform that you've just seen, just wanted to bring this slide up because to remind you, we've got all these components here that we will be covering in the licensing and the three deployment options, the environments. Automation cloud, which is where we manage and host the products. The automation suite, which will allow on-prem licensing, on-prem products to be downloaded in a single installation, and then or purchasing and downloading each individual product. So Flex plan, as I said earlier, mandatory for new customers. You ask for a price or a quote from either our salesperson or through Ingram Micro, and you will be getting it as Flex for new customers. Another thing so any in-flight deals will transition to Flex. Flex plan will be named user only, not multi-user. We used to have multi-user licensing, which some of our longer-term partners will remember. That has now been terminated or retired. So it's just named user. And they're the main points. So Flex plan has full deployment rights to all of our environments. Cloud plan. All customers who have cloud licensing will be transitioned upon renewal to Flex, and we will no longer be able to sell the cloud SKUs from the 1st of May. There's the main points there. And then the on-prem plan, SKUs will continue to be available for existing on-premises customers. We don't have a deadline for that, not that I'm aware of. Nothing has come out to date. So on-prem customers can decide to remain on their on-prem licensing. Okay, let's look at how some of these legacy SKUs are being replaced. because we are moving from the old SKUs to the new, this is what will be happening. So if you were used to seeing Cloud Orchestrated Action Center, named user or multi-user, that's the legacy SKU in the Cloud plan. The Flex plan is Flex Action Center, named user. So pretty much the same, but we've just added Flex and replaced Cloud Orchestrated with Flex. Here is some more. Automation Developer. We used to have quite a few variations of developer licensing. We had RPA Developer, Automation Developer, Test Developer Pro. We had a lot. So now they're all being consolidated under the Flex SKU of Automation Developer, named user. So I'm showing this to you so that when you receive new renewal quotes, you may have been used to seeing RPA Developer, you will now be seeing Flex Automation Developer. And these are the SKUs that are all being replaced by AI units. So AI Robot Pro, Cloud AI Robot, etc. All the document understanding bundles, the document understanding promo pack, all of these have been retired and replaced by the AI unit SKU. Okay, so which of the following statements is false about Flex licensing? Give you a few seconds to read those. Okay, here we go. It says here that, so Flex licensing can be offered to existing on-prem customers. They have the choice of whether they go to Flex or whether they remain with their on-prem licensing plan. It's up to them. Existing on-prem customers can purchase additional on-prem licenses. True or false? I'm hoping this one is obvious. True. And as I said earlier, there isn't a deadline on that. And so at the moment. Okay, let's look at what our Flex licensing actually looks like. Let's look at what our licensing is made up of. There are three components. We have a la carte, packs, and full platform. And I'm going to start by showing you our a la carte pricing. So we have different tiers. So these are our user tiers, right? The user licensing. And once again, this pricing here is in USD and for named user licenses and on any deployment environment. We also have the robot tiers. So three types of robots. We have our non-production robot, our unattended robot, and our test robot. Okay, our test robot can be used in development and production and can be used to run our test suite. The unattended robot is to be used in production only, non-production in development and UAT only. And then we have our platform add-ons. So these are the additional capability. There's your automation hub, your process mining, the test management, insights, and here are the AI units. Now, our AI units come in bundles of 60K, 1 million, and 10 million. And there are AI unit sizing calculators. So when you are looking at using document understanding, task mining, or AI Center, it's quite, you probably need to be engaged with someone technical at our end, and that would happen through the salesperson that you're working with at Uipath, and they can help you with the sizing. So let's look at the Flex plan. So one point I really want to make about our user licensing is that these are all mini bundles. When you buy Action Center, you don't just get Action Center, right? You also get apps and you also get task capture included. If we go up to attended user, you get Action Center apps plus the attended robot, data service, integration API calls, and task capture, etc. So Citizen Developer is Studio X plus everything else. Automation Developer is Studio and everything else. So these licenses are building. A key point I'd like to make here is that these are named user licenses. So the Automation Developer bundle belongs to whoever the named user is. So if it's the developer, the administrator who's building this, great. They can't then share their attended robot out and give it to another person, because this is all licensed to the one named user. So we had an earlier question about task capture. So as you can see, it's included in all of the user licensing. Now, let's look at the on-premises plan, because that was for Flex. On-prem is different. On-prem, the user tiers, you see here we have different add-ons, because the customer here has to buy Orchestrator. Under Flex plan, you don't need to purchase Orchestrator. The orchestration is included. So whereas the on-prem plan would need to purchase the Orchestrator. We have Basic, which allows up to 5 unattended or attended robots and up to 5 developers, a separate 5. Standard, and Basic is single tenant. Standard is multi-tenant, doesn't have any limitations. And here Enterprise are bundled with additional capabilities. So when you look at the user tiers for on-prem, you can see that it's missing apps, data service, the API integration call, because they're components that are delivered by our automation cloud, right? So, so they're not available here. And the pricing is also different. The on-prem plan has different pricing as well, so that's worth noting. But once again, this is only applicable to existing on-prem customers. Any new customers are all Flex. So I've included this here for your knowledge, for reference. So you have all the information there. Then we get to our newly introduced Automation Cloud robots. So now there are 2 ways to sell robots, either Flex, where the customer hosts the robot, or our new SKU where we host the robot. And that is that's through an annually purchased, monthly expiring robot unit. Okay, more about that in a sec. And this went GA on May 11. So just going back to what was available up till now, you have a few options. The blue showed customers hosting and managing the product. So that's on-prem. They would purchase the Orchestrator, install it in a private cloud or on-prem or third-party cloud. Then they would also install and manage their robots, right? Either on-prem or in another cloud. And that would be self-managed. Then we came along and introduced our automation cloud, where Orchestrator became a SaaS service. So we hosted and managed Orchestrator in our automation cloud, which is here in there's some here in Australia for our ANZ customers. And then we also had this Elastic Robot orchestration, where they could actually put the cloud in a public cloud, or either Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud, and manage that themselves. But then we've now introduced our ACR, our automation cloud robots, where we're hosting and managing the robots as well as the orchestration. And there are 2 types of those. They can either be a VM automation cloud or serverless. VM is the one that's the most like our unattended robot now, right? And whereas serverless is what you would tend to use if you're wanting to run cross-platform automations in parallel that don't have any desktop automations. So our VM clouds, pretty much just like our unattended robot now, takes on almost any unattended workload. You don't need your own Azure AWS subscription, which you would have needed in the past if you were hosting your on-prem workload in a cloud. You don't need any IT resources to manage Orchestrator or the robot infrastructure. So one of the beauties of having cloud-hosted capability is that you don't manage, you don't upgrade, you don't need to upgrade do any patching, anything like that. So that's the value being delivered here. Whereas the serverless clouds are slightly different, so they're ready when you are. They immediately run automations on demand and in parallel. So I would say that was the biggest difference between serverless and the VM one, running in parallel. Because if you want to run our standard unattended robots in parallel, you would need to buy multiple robots. One robot will run one process at a time, serially, whereas our serverless will run automations in parallel. Now, there's no desktop automation, so it's all server to server kind of capability being provided there. Now, how are they licensed? What you would buy now is this robot units bundle, and it'll cost $14,400 US. So you don't go and license a VM cloud or serverless. You buy this license here. Now, how will it be consumed? With a VM robot, it will consume 6,000 robot units per month. The robot units expire monthly. Now, the point I really would like to try and make quite clearly with the VM robot is this 6,000 RU is not consumption-based. It's 6,000 RU per month for this virtual machine spec. Regardless of whether you use it for 1 minute or whether you're using it all day, every day in a month, it will consume 6,000 units. So we just draw that down. Even if you don't use it, it gets drawn down. With serverless though, we do measure the robot units being consumed. And so with those, so once again, this will go up to 6,000 per month, but you may go over. If you go over, there may be a requirement for a greater bundle. The units all expire every month, okay? And they're purchased annually. So, which of the following statements is false about the VM automation cloud robots? Full SaaS, similar to unattended robots, there's no requirement for the customer to have their own Azure or AWS subscription, or they can run many jobs in parallel without requiring the customer to buy as many robots as parallel jobs they want to run. D, our VM robots do not run jobs in parallel. That's the other one. That's the serverless ACR. Alrighty, flex packs. So we have packs. So what we've done is we've built these packs. They have some inbuilt pricing. They're based on our experience of seeing what customers are purchasing and what they need. They also have accompanying services packs where you can purchase the services from Uipath that Uipath deliver. This is good for potentially new partners who may need some assistance in skilling up and so have our services there to lean on, or not. You just sell the licensing, right? The options are there. So, and they simplify the deal structure. They help you with the greater land. What we've seen is that when customers buy more licenses, they will automate to use those licenses. Also, we would hope that you've done the process discovery, that top-down process discovery that Craig was talking about, to build a process or an automation pipeline that needs a lot more licenses to deliver on the vision and the strategy. So here's what they look like. And you can see everything's, and all of our licensing is an annual subscription. And you can see that it's made up of different components, and there are some that are configurable. So, and once again, in order to get this configured, you need to deal with the salesperson from Uipath who will help you configure that and build the wizard through a wizard that we use internally. And there is an inbuilt license with those additional, inbuilt discount with the additional licenses that are put in. So So if you were to tally it up, you add all this together, it would be that 37,000 a year, but then they get these extras. Then we also have full platform offerings, HAPO. So this is where you've got an organisation that really wants to scale, doesn't necessarily want to count the licenses as they scale, and they sort of want to screw them up at the end or throughout. So this you definitely need to engage with our sales team to offer. And as you can see there, the pricing, like you're looking at 800,000 or 1 point something million there. So this is for customers who really want to scale and don't want to have a barrier to scaling by having to know exactly how many licenses to purchase and when and all the rest of it. Now then we have service and support. Now we have a lot of support offerings. Now our standard support comes with the product, and typically we expect you as our partner to deliver level 1 and 2 support, because most of the time if the customer's error or issue or challenge will be with the implementation. That's usually user error or they don't understand something, and you know about that. You can help them with that. We couldn't. Things will become escalated to us when it's a product issue. So then what happens is, under standard support, is you log a ticket and you wait for someone to respond to that. Whereas with premium support, the SLAs are better. It goes from 24 times 5 to 24/7, and there's a lot more proactive support offered than standard support's completely reactive. The one that we're seeing great value for our customers is Premium Plus, because with Premium Plus, an actual technical account manager is named to that account. Those technical account managers are in region. We have quite a few here in Australia for our Australian customers. We find that the Premium Plus support offered is more proactive, but it's often around strategy and planning, never about delivery. So we have other partners that are working with our customer and the technical account manager to ensure the excellence and the quality delivery implementation for that customer. So it isn't competitive to our partners, our Premium Plus support, it's additive. Because it also means that when the customer has come through you, has solved every problem with you that is possible, and it does become a product issue, rather than just logging a ticket, you reach out to the technical account manager and it gets a very high priority, and somebody following it through, somebody who has access to our delivery teams, to our engineering teams internally, that our partners, some do, but not many, right? Not often. So this is, it's an excellent. It is $55,000 minimum or 22% of the license. So we see that it's typically for a customer that's becoming a bit more mature. So it's not an initial offering typically, unless it's for a large customer. Our public sector team offer this as a standard. And then we have these Star Support add-on, which is more like advisory kind of consulting, which I think is probably not as relevant to be offered by our partners, because that's the service you add, but it's something you can bring into your accounts if you see fit. Now, another thing I wanted to show here is our trial license versus community. If you're looking to do a POC, please don't use community. Community is there for you to do your education, to play with. Our pre-sales team love community because our newer features are put into community as they're working through it and debugging it. Community is like our garage version. It is not a version that should be used to develop things for production, right? Because there isn't regression testing or backward compatibility. We have a new feature, we bung it into community, right? It's free and it's there to play with. If you're looking to build a POC that you can then convert into an enterprise license and put into production, use our trial version. You can get a trial version, it's valid for 60 days. It's for the company, not for individual. So you're at a prospect, you get a trial in their name, and you can utilize it for 60 days. If you haven't finished the POC within 60 days, then what you can do is you can ask for an extension through the Uipath salesperson. It is far better because you're able to just replace the keys and then they're able to keep all the work that you've done for them, particularly if it's a paid POC. That provides more value for them because you don't need to redevelop. With community, you need to redevelop. Okay, another checkpoint. Which of the following best describes Uipath service and support offerings? There's a lot to read there. I'll give you a couple of seconds. B. Standard support included with the base product premium, 12%, premium plus 22%. Okay, so where do you start? Well, Uipath is more than just a product. We have a whole. We have certifications, we have partner technologies, the Uipath forum, great place to search, to find techniques, ideas, issues, the community where you can collaborate with fellow developers and other partners, our marketplace where you can download reusable components, sort of packages. You know, you don't need to develop everything from scratch. These are some of our technology alliance partners. Oh, these are just some of them. We have so many alliances, we have so many integrations. We're very open. What I wanted to show you though is some of our sales enablement assets. Now we have, these are internal here, these are customer facing. Can I tell you that our Uipath YouTube channel has some great stuff in there. It has some videos, testimonials, demos. Have a look. It really is a great place to go to find a lot of information in a nice visual format, right? And our Uipath website has case studies, etc., right? But then let me show some of the information that's internal. We have customer-facing decks. We call them CFDs because, you know, you need another acronym in software. Inserts for everything, right? That by product, by industry, by vertical, by horizontal. So, and we have demand workbooks, process heat maps, and battle cards. So here's what a battle card looks like. So if you're going into HR and you're not really that familiar with what HR's pain points are or challenges, look at the automation first battle card. It talks about their landscape. It talks about their opportunities, their key value drivers, right? Some of their challenges, some of their pains, goals, and how we can help them. It even gives you an elevator pitch, right? And also gives you some use cases. So these are really handy if you're going into an area you haven't got much experience in. And I'll show you shortly where you can find these on the partner portal. Then we have heat maps. What we've done here is we've taken a job role and identified what of their tasks have high, medium and low automation potential. So here I'm talking to someone in finance and accounting, order to cash, and I can see that creating an initial sales quote has high automation potential. Negotiating and finalising a sale, very low automation potential. Because once again, with automation, you're looking to automate things that have high volume, are rules-based. They're the main, and high volume, rules-based, not too creative. Creative things, not the best to automate. They're not low-hanging fruit. So we have created these heat maps for you to reference as well. Especially if you're going out, you're having a meeting with a customer, you've got Automation Hub, you're ready to capture and build their automation pipeline. You can have some of these ideas, or you can show them, right? You can show the customer these things and say, which of these would add value for you? Then we also have a demand workbook where we've brought together some of these. The idea behind it is that it's a workbook to help you create demand. So we have brought together ideas and some of our experiences and use cases that we have seen out in the field and what we've helped customers do. So here I'm looking at IT automation demand workbook, and we have seen, we have a client, energy sector in the US, where we've given them approximately 30K cost savings in helping them create tickets from emails and other events. But here we've helped them with $3.6 million in a reduction in their outage cost by collecting and comparing system log and reporting discrepancies. So once again, here is a resource that you can read through before your meeting or while you're going through the prospecting and qualification with them to give them ideas. Because turning up to a customer prospect and saying, hi, we're here, we can help you automate, what do you need? We're not finding is successful. What you need to do is go there and tell them how you can help them and have these ideas and this information at your fingertips. Okay, partner portal. I'm hoping many of you have already accessed our partner portal, but if you haven't, I'm going to show you how now. I'm going to actually go on to and drive it here rather than just show you some more slides. This is our partner portal website, partnerportal.uipath.com. And if you haven't registered, no drama, you come to it and you click register now. It's self-registering, so you don't need to, we don't need to send you a code or anything like that, right? You log in, use your company email and your country, and then click next, and you follow the prompts, right? Then what will happen is you'll receive a verification code for final sign up. So it's all automated, and so that's how you register. Please use your company email because it's connected to related to your company name, which must be registered as a partner in our system. Otherwise, you won't be allowed to register. So then you end up in here, in the Uipath Partner Portal. And I want to show you some of the great content that is in here. Let me go to full screen. Whatever, hang on, it's 11, right. So here we have partner briefings. We put recordings here. Because, you know, who isn't happy to listen to more presentations? I know I love them. Now, under the partner program, we have lots of information. We have pricing and licensing. So this is where you come to find your pricing and licensing. There's your price book, FAQs, customer-facing deck, etc. This is also where you get more information on the partner program itself. Okay, news and promotions, and there's the forum where you can do searches, etc. I'll come back to deal registration in a second. I want to show you the Uipath platform. So here is where you can get a lot more information on what Craig showed you earlier. So there's this platform tour. Can I tell you, I love this deck. This deck just shows all of our platforms, and it's continually updated as we add new product or new capability. So it's a really good thing. I use it to remain educated on our tool set, and it's also customer facing, so you can show whatever you want to. But here it is. Now you also have resources per product down here, and demo videos, etc. And so there we go. So got the message there. So that's under partner program. Now under the go to market, this is where you're going to find your heat maps and your. We also have marketing campaign kits. So this is where we have these campaigns in a box. So here, selling to industries, right? We have our corporate presentation here for you, platform tour again, some marketing videos. But if you're going and dealing with financial services, here is the battle card, our customer-facing deck, the demand workbook, and the heat map. All here. We have it by healthcare, insurance, etc. Manufacturing. So that's by industry. But then if you're going into a department, we have them by department as well. So we've compiled these, and it's all here. And PR information, co-branding, etc. So that's all under the go-to-market. Now, this is the important one as well, enablement. This is where you can do your online training, and I need everybody on this course who has not started a training course to start one, because that's the only way we will be able to ensure you'll get accredited for today. Because we need you to have a partner enablement profile set up, and logging into the partner portal doesn't create an enablement profile, right? Which is an extension of the Uipath Academy, which is for public, Our Uipath Academy, many of you have probably already utilised, has free training, and it's open to customers, partners, prospects, students, everybody. However, it is public facing. So what we've done is we've added additional internal only, partner only training, but we've made it available via enablement here. So in order for you to get access to and to ensure accreditation for this course, you need to click on enablement and just start any course. Doesn't matter what it is, you don't need to finish it. You just need to start it, and then it will create a profile for you, right? So I have some, here we go. But firstly, let me show you how it's segmented. Our training is by user role. So we have sales and pre-sales. We have delivery, we have specializations. So if you go in and you're a salesperson, you click on sales, and then it's going to create this. So I need all of you to do this and then just start, right? I've already done it because, you know, I wanted to stay across everything, but you can just start the course. And then it will have created a profile for you. So when we want to accredit you with this information, this instructor-led training, it will happen. But I'm not going to worry about that for now. Oops, let's just go back. Yeah. So yes, everyone, I need you to do that. And there's a contact us, which is really useful because here's where you can also log support tickets. So there's that. So lovely. So let's go back to this here. Do I need this in here? Right. Okay, so we've seen all this. Oh, deal reg. I didn't show you deal reg. I've forgotten something. Deal registration. Very important. Why should you deal reg? Deal reg will automatically connect you with the Uipath salesperson who has that account so that you can work together jointly to increase your level of success so you can get some whatever support you need from us. It will also entitle you to an extra 10% discount on the sale if you sell it. Now, I'd like to make very clear that deal reg, and with deal reg, we throw the weight of our support behind you. We will support you. So if another partner comes along and wants to register the deal, and it's the same opportunity, it's in the same area, etc., our salesperson will decline it, right? And will work with you and support you on the opportunity. Now, the customer ultimately decides who they buy from. So if the customer decides to buy from somebody else, that's up to them, and hopefully that doesn't happen, they buy off you. But if they do buy off someone else, that partner won't get the additional one, have the 10%. You do, right? And they don't have that added yet. But also note that a deal registration will protect you in that opportunity in that area. We can have multiple partners working in a customer, in the large customers especially. So a deal reg will register you for the opportunity, but not for an entire account. I mean, imagine Westpac, right? You could be working in this part of Westpac in the finance section. Somebody else comes along and is working in HR. It's completely unrelated, isn't competitive. So that deal reg will be approved while the rep works with that partner on another part of the business. Public sector, large customers, it's quite common to have multiple partners in there. But when you register the deal, it's approved and then you sell it, you get an extra 10%. And it's in here. And please make sure you click submit. I have people calling, it's like, where my deal reg hasn't come through, and it's like, you need to click submit. It's not all that intuitive, I don't think, our interface, but you know, we try. Oh, and they're valid for 90 days. Now, if at the end of the 90 days, the opportunity is still going, then you can ask the salesperson to extend that deal reg. Okay. Oh, and also the training. So as you can see, there's the enablement. You start your competency. You can also take your exam through our enablement. You pass through to Pearson VUE. It's a third-party exam, and it costs $200 USD. Make sure you're doing the UIARD exam developer, because that's the one that counts towards our accreditation. Now, the support portal. I've included the link. You have any issue, log a support call. If you have training that isn't showing up, log a support call, because we can't actually do anything, right, in regards to fixing internal issues like that. We'd love to, but we can't. This is a brilliant, brilliant resource, our trust portal. This is where you come to when you've got customers asking about what we're doing with their data privacy, security, if you need to look up our T's and C's, compliance. It's all here. This is great. You're responding to an RFP and they ask you what our accreditations are, the ISO whatevers. The information is here. Okay, if you don't find it here, reach out to us. So you can even download some of our certificates and things from the trust portal. It's brilliant. Okay, so checkpoint 16. The best, fastest and only way to get technical support for any licensed product is, hopefully, you're all going to have written or ticked B. 17, what is the default duration for a deal reg? 90 days. Where is the best place to find details on all of our product security, privacy, compliance, legal T's and C's? I was just waxing lyrical about it, our trust portal. Okay, partner program. I'm going to be quick here because I have 18 minutes. Partner competency. So our partner program, we have 4 tiers: registered, silver, gold and diamond. And I'm just showing you Australia and New Zealand at the moment. I will show all of the other regions shortly. So in order to move and up tier, you need to complete both competency and achieve a revenue amount, so revenue attainment. So it's both competency and revenue attainment. So to get from registered to silver, you need to have 2 Uipath sales, 1 technical pre-sales and 1 certified developer, and have sold over 50K USD within the financial year, our financial year, which is from February to January. Now, you'll notice there are asterisks beside sales and pre-sales. The asterisk means those resources must be in country. We want customer-facing roles to be in country because we find that leads to greater success. All the developer back-end roles can be offshore, no drama with that, and they will count towards your accreditation, but we need these roles must be in region. So let's have a look at, there's China, there's Hong Kong. So they each have their different revenue attainments. I think the actual numbers of all for the competency are the same, and these are for the rest of other countries there. You will find this information in the Business Partner Program Guide, which is also downloadable from the Partner Portal. Now, these are the courses you need to take in order to have them register against your competency. Please note the trick is they all need to say for Uipath partners at the end, because there are a lot of courses available in our enablement section, but in order for them to be accredited to your competency, you need these are the courses that you need to be taking. And then what does it get you? Well, there's different discounting levels by tier. And so silver is 15, 25, 35 for diamond, As you can see, approved deal rate is 10%. You can get 20% discount on professional services of ours that you subcontract out to your customer. And our support has different discounts. So it's all here. Now, I wanted to make a point that isn't that obvious. We also have non-standard product discounts. So we have products that are considered non-standard, and they will attract a 10% lower discount than our standard product discounts. So how, as well as as I mentioned, the support given. So how do you know whether something is standard or non-standard? It's in our price list. So here's the price list. Column N will show that, yes, that's a standard product, that's non-standard. So if you were to sell a Flex Test Suite starter pack and you're a silver partner, you'd probably you would receive 5% discount rather than 15. And that's because, especially with these starter packs, they already have inbuilt discounting. So we've reduced it for that reason. But just something to be aware of, because you may be building a quote and expecting it to cost you this much, and then you find that our quote is higher. It's probably due to that. Okay, so which of the following statements are true? All of the above. RPA developers must pass a third-party exam, and your development resources can be located globally and counted towards your requirements, which is really handy. What's the most efficient way to get the latest price list? Downloading it from the partner portal, asking one of us, or asking your Ingram Micro contact? The most efficient way is download it from the partner portal. It's up there whenever you're ready. Okay, so how to engage? There are quite a few people, so what we've done here is we've just listed our teams. Firstly, if you have an opportunity, register it in the partner portal, right? That will programmatically find its way to the relevant sales contact, the sales director for that opportunity. It will also copy your partner, the partner contact, and you will then be aligned. So regardless of whether you purchase through Ingram Micro or Uipath, you engage with the Uipath salesperson on opportunities. And this is who to engage with in SEA, Southeast Asia. Some of these names will probably be familiar. And then in Greater China, as I said, you'll be getting a copy of these slides. So what I'm showing you here is for your, just as an FYI, this is how we qualify deals, we being our salespeople, how we qualify deals and how we forecast. So this is a sales methodology. You've all seen them. They're all pretty much the same. But this will inform a lot of the questions that our salespeople will be asking you as you qualify an opportunity and as you're working through it. What I liked about this, because I've done, we've all done solution sales training, etc. The paper process is one that I know I've tripped up on in my career many times. You know, I know who the economic buyer is, I know the decision criteria and process and their pain, etc. But then actually understanding the path to PO, like how long does it take? Who needs to sign it off? Where is it signed off? You know, you're working through it, you forecast it, and then all of a sudden it's got to be signed off in Switzerland. Oh, why? What? Okay. I needed to know that before I forecast that to my manager. Now, the reason this is relevant to you is it will help you in forecasting to us, because you want to, if you forecast too early, you'll be getting a lot of "are we there yet" from our salespeople. So you may want to provide some buffer and also understand more about what we'll be expecting from you when we engage. Okay. Now this is standard sales process. You'll be doing it anyway. But one thing I do have noticed is with POCs, you know, we often get asked for a 30-day extension on a license or something that's why, because it's running a POC. It's like, well, what are they doing in 30 days that they can't do in 7 days? And what's the success criteria of that POC? Because POCs, especially with customers, can be quite subjective. What are the actual items that are being ticked off that are not subjective? Because so that it improves your chances of winning and thus our chance of winning, and puts the customer on the hook as well. You know, it's a give-get. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. 10 minutes to go. This is fantastic. I can see that there are a few questions on the chat. Sign up for the partner portal. Please start a course in enablement. We're here to help you. Hopefully that information has been handy. Let me have a look at the chat. Goodness me. Okay. All right. No, that's it. Q&A. Are they all answered? Any chances for me to get the questions from 5 to 11? I think I can. Well, I've got 10 minutes.
Ida, we're working on those questions. We're working on those questions. So the questions to the answer, let us handle this. Thanks.
Oh, okay. I can go back and just show them as well because we have 10 minutes. So everyone who has these answers can drop off and we can just show them. Thank you, everyone, for attending. We really hope that this was useful. We tried to put this together in such a way that brought the information together so that you can wrap your arms around it and truly understand it rather than having to sporadically look for information. So I'm just going to go through the questions. Here's 5 for those of you who still stay on. And you know who we are. Please feel free to reach out. And thank you. And thank you to Craig.
Thank you, Ida.
Okay.
Thanks,
yeah,
Ida.
I was going to go back on. You're
Sorry,
welcome.
just
I'm
to
just going
chime
to keep
in
going
here.
through the questions.
We've just put a feedback form link on the chat. So really appreciate you spending time with us. Hope you find this useful, but please do provide feedback to us. The forms link are posted on the chat. So please go there and let us know how we did. And Ida, there's also a question that's less related to the checkpoint, right? Is the additional 10% from dual reg on top of the usual partner discount? So yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So if you're a silver partner and your pre-approved discount is 15% and you have an approved deal reg and you make the sale, then you end up with 25% discount, which will automatically be included in the quote.
The only thing it's worth pointing out is that if it's a renewal, you can't deal register a renewal. If you upsell that renewal and there's new product, that can have a 10% deal registration benefit applied to it.
Good on you, Craig, exactly. And in addition to that, we also don't deal reg tenders, so RFPs, because we can't throw away support behind one person in the tender. All of the partners need. This is helping. That's the checkpoints. Do you have another chat? Yes, definitely provide feedback. We want to learn. We want to make this better. Thank you. Thank you, Alan. And this session is for you. So, yes, without hopefully everybody got the questions. Guess we can sign off. Please fill in, questions 12 and 13. Okay, let me do that. And please send in your feedback. That was 12. And this is 13. What is the stepwise explore of Uipath called? That's task capture. That's what was that product, and then I think that's what you mean. This is 15 onwards. I tell you, these phone calls. Okay, here we are. Going to do all of them. You will be getting these slides. Well, you won't be getting the checkpoint, but you will be getting the rest of the content. 15 onwards. Okay. 15. Here's 16, coming right up. We aim to please. The default duration for do it's important 90 days. Oh, maybe I'm too quick with that one. Is that too quick? B for that one. Okay. Got the team busily answering questions there. Just waiting to get the latest price list. I'm waiting from the Uipath partner pool.
I'm glad Joshy and Danny and Stefano are on the call, Lita. It's with the number of attendees we've had today, lots of questions. It's been great.
It has been.
Yeah.
Thank you. So everyone, you have our details, you know, it's 227. The task tracking page again, I'm not sure what that one is. Danny's typing an answer to the other one.
You received these slides anyway, so you can backtrack and have a look.
Yeah. Yes, we're sending them out. And Danny's answering questions. Yes, absolutely, getting the presentation materials. And there's the feedback. So yeah, definitely want to hear the feedback. Correct. You don't need to do the whole course, just start it, because that will create the enablement profile for you. And when we submit your name, we have internally to receive credit for this instructor-led training, it will find your profile and they'll be able to map it. Otherwise they can't, and then we need to come back to you and ask you to do it. So it's easy if we do it all in the one go. So thank you very much. Can you show questions 1 to 4? Heavens above. I'm going to be here showing questions all afternoon. Well, thank you for attending and paying attention to questions 5 to 20. So that's awesome. So thank you. So here's question 1. And here we go. And question 2. Is the operating model built first before forming a functional COE? True. We find they're the most successful. Otherwise, it runs the risk of being a little gimmick in the corner of some office somewhere. Arrange the following, the best practice order of execution, or you need a little bit of time for this one. So you can think about it. It's 2:29, so I'm going to give you the answer because we've got to get going. And there you go, both A and B. And what was that? That was 4. Lovely. 6 and 7. I think, okay. All right, this is the last set, everyone, because, where was it?
6 is 7 is A. I just had a look. I think that's in the Q&A.
Fantastic. So what was it? Right, so I've got them there.
And we're at time.
Oh, that's 6. Yep, 6 is C and 7 time. Thank you very much, everybody. Here's question 7. And thank you for attending.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ida.
Bye.
Great.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye.